right. Thank you. Thank you for the miracle work class here today. Thank you so much for your presence, and actually I can't wait to start. And in the middle of this, whatever we find ourselves, we have a moment to relax and retreat from all of the concerns and all of the occupations of mind that we say tolerate. So this moment that we come together is now coming from a stillness and is referring back to our inner world and not anything else. So wherever you find yourself or whatever appeared that you were doing, let it for now, let it be for now. And say, allow yourself to deeply go within in a way that you were not used to, like even deeper than that. So a real invitation to this time allow yourself to go within and give it everything in that sense, being totally present, going within, relaxing deeply into your withinness. So today I want to take a look at a continuation of the lesson that we did the last time. And that was lesson 192. And now we're going to do the next step, 193 of A Course in Miracles. And maybe the number doesn't mean anything to you, but here's it. All things are lessons God would have me learn, is then the next step. All things are lessons God would have me learn. And however that works out, this is your lesson of today. And it will be so perfect. It will help you to see what is occurring, what appears to be occurring here today for you. You will see how you can be supported by what you will hear and the opportunities that are given to set yourself free from limitations that you even weren't aware of. So I'm going to put this book in front of me. I can let you read with me. That would be so. Lesson 193. God, and we use this just as a meditation too. It's like it's a meditative lesson. In fact, God does not know of learning, yet His will extends even to what He does not understand, in that He wills the happiness His Son inherited of Him be undisturbed. Eternal and forever gaining scope, eternally expanding in the joy of full creation, and eternally open and wholly limitless in Him. This is His will, and thus His will provides the means to guarantee that it is done. So let's stay with this for a moment. God does not know of learning, no. That you can even get that conceptually. Yet His will extends to what He does not understand. So that's the part where the part that is your life, what you call your existence. In that He wills the happiness His Son inherited of Him be undisturbed. So this is what God wants for you. It's like your happiness is all that matters in that sense. That's all that is. Eternal and forever gaining scope, eternally expanding in the joy of full creation, and eternally open and wholly limitless in Him. This is his will. And thus his will provides the means to guarantee that it is done. So that's like, wow, that's so great. That's so great that is his will. So my will is not separate from that, even though I might feel that for a moment, that my will is separate from it, thinking like, well, yeah, okay, that's wonderful utopia or something like that. It's like, it's a wonderful thing, sure, absolutely. I would love to get in touch with that, but how is that going to happen? How is that going to happen? How can I do this? See, and then we continue. So I'm just raising some questions, but in fact they will all get answered. God sees no contradictions, yet his Son believes he sees them. Thus he has need for one who can correct his erring sight and give him vision that will lead him back to where perception ceases. God does not perceive at all. Yet it is he who gives the means by which perception is made true and beautiful enough to let the light of heaven shine upon it. It is he who answers what his Son would contradict, and keeps his sinlessness forever safe. God sees no contradictions, yet his Son believes he sees them. Like, you really think you see contradictions. Thus he has a need for one who can correct his erring sight. See, and now here we go again. It's like still dealing here with perceptions. Like, I have certain ideas about what I see, otherwise I wouldn't be seeing it. It's like I already see what I want to see. And then afterwards I can say, wow, I really didn't want to see that. Oh, I didn't want that at all. And like, yes, you did want that. That's why you see it. It starts with you, you know, it starts with you perceiving these contradictions, these conflicts. You perceive them because you want to see them. Then that is not the end of the story, luckily. So the part that comes in now, it's like there's one given you to support you, to change your perception of yourself, who shows you in a way the true and beautiful of your perception, so that the light of heaven can shine upon it. It's like, wow, what I was seeing, what I was looking at is conflictual. Now I give myself a moment to take another look. There must be something else for me to see. I want to discover what that is. So that is an openness to receive that. And so there's a key sentence connected to that we will read about in the next paragraph. That is so great. These are the lessons God would have you learn. His will reflects them all, and they reflect his loving kindness to the Son he loves. Each lesson has a central thought, the same in all of them. The form alone is changed, with different circumstances and events, with different characters and different themes, apparent but not real. They are the same in fundamental content. And it is this, and here's your phrase then. Forgive, and you will see this differently. So I go back a little bit here. God does not perceive at all. Yet it is he who gives the means by which perception is made true and beautiful enough to let the light of heaven shine upon it. It is he who answers what his Son would contradict and keeps his sinlessness forever safe. It is he who answers what his Son would contradict and keeps his sinlessness forever safe. So it's like this is the practice that we do, like listening to the still small voice, because he answers to what you would contradict and get yourself in trouble with. Like, so these are the lessons God would have you learn. So this is where we are in the middle of, in this. We practice this, in fact, in every moment you have an opportunity to allow this lesson to be learned. If you learn the lesson, it shifts and changes. You can see it in a different way. So in fact, at this point, we need some situations to relate to in order for this to give it meaning in our mind. We love to have some practical examples of where's this applying to. So if you look at yourself, like, where are you experiencing contradictions, conflict at this point? Like, where exactly is that taking place? And some situations might pop up, but there will be some really concrete examples here. So I'm going to continue reading here. Certain it is that all distress does not appear to be but unforgiveness, yet that is the content underneath the form. It is this sameness which makes learning sure, because the lesson is so simple that it cannot be rejected in the end. No one can hide forever from a truth so very obvious that it appears in countless forms, and yet is recognized as easily in all of them. But if one but wants to see the simple lesson there. So this is about a little bit of willingness to want to see it. The simple lesson. It's a very simple lesson. Forgive and you will see this differently. That's not a difficult thing in itself, but what is in itself? So here are some concrete situations. Forgive and you will see this differently. These are the words the Holy Spirit speaks in all your tribulations, all your pain, and all suffering, regardless of their form. These are the words with which temptation ends and guilt is abandoned and revert no more. These, I have to go up, are the words which end the dream of sin and rid the mind of fear. These are the words by which salvation comes to all the world. So here's a question. Shall we not learn to say these words then when we are tempted? And here it is. Here's a scenario. When we are tempted to believe that pain is real and death becomes our choice instead of life. Shall we not learn these words, to say these words, when we have understood their power to release all minds from bondage? These are words which give you power over all events, seem to have given power over you. You see them rightly when you hold these words in full awareness, and do not forget these words apply to everything you see or any brother looks upon amiss. How can you tell when you are seeing wrong, or someone else is failing to perceive the lesson he should learn? Does pain seem real in the perception? If it does, be sure the lesson is not learned, and there remains an unforgiveness hiding in the mind which sees the pain through eyes the mind directs. So how can you tell when you are seeing wrong or someone else is failing to perceive the lesson he should learn? Does pain seem real in the perception? If it does, be sure the lesson is not learned. Okay, so moving back to the previous questions. Shall we not learn to say these words when we are tempted to believe that pain is real and death becomes our choice instead of life? Shall we not learn to say these words when we have understood their power to release all minds from bondage? These are the words which give you power over all events, which seem to have been given power over you. You see them rightly when you hold these words in full awareness, and do not forget these words apply to everything you see or any brother looks upon amiss. Wow. God would not have you suffer thus. He would help you forgive yourself. His Son does not remember who he is, and God would have him not forget his love, and all the gifts his love brings with it. Would you now renounce your own salvation? Would you fail to learn the simple lessons Heaven's teacher sets before you, that all pain may disappear, and God may be remembered by his Son? All things are lessons God would have you learn. He would not leave an unforgiving thought without correction, nor one thorn or nail to hurt his sacred Son in any way. He would ensure his holy rest remain untroubled and serene, without a care in an eternal home which cares for him. And he would have all tears be wiped away, with none remaining yet unshed, and none but waiting their appointed time to fall. For God has willed that laughter should replace each one, and that his Son be free again. We will attempt to overcome 1,000 seeming obstacles to peace in just one day. Let mercy come to you more quickly. Do not try to hold it off another day, another minute, or another instant. Time was made for this. Use it today for what its purpose is. Morning and night, devote what time you can to serve its proper aim. And do not let the time be less than meets your deepest need. Give all you can, and give a little more. For now we would arise in haste and go unto our Father's house. We have been gone too long, and we would linger here no more. And as we practice, let us think about all things we saved to settle by ourselves and kept apart from healing. Let us give them all to him who knows the way to look upon them, so that they will disappear. Truth is his message. Truth is his teaching. His are the lessons God would have us learn. Each hour spend a little time today and in the days to come, and practicing the lesson in forgiveness in the form established for today, and try to give it application to the happenings the hour brought, so that the next one is free of the one before. The change of time are easily unloosened in this way. Let no 1 hour cast its shadow on the one that follows, and when that one goes, let everything that happened in its course go with it. Thus will you remain unbound, in peace eternal in the world of time. This is the lesson God would have you learn. There is a way to look on everything that lets it be to you another step to him and to salvation of the world. To all that speaks of terror, answer thus: I will forgive, and this will disappear. To every apprehension, every care, and every form of suffering, repeat the self same words. Wait. And then you hold the key that opens heaven's gate and brings the love of God, the Father, down to earth at last, to raise it up to heaven. God will take his final step himself. Do not deny the little steps he asks you to take him. So we can sit with this for just a moment. 100. I will forgive and this will disappear. So apply this to some ideas that are like living in your mind right now. You probably have some situations that you can apply this to. I will forgive and this will disappear. So let's do this right now for just a moment. All right, thank you. Thank you for that. So you see the application of this is then you will, when you forgive, so like this is in the line of what we have been, say, listening to and like being practicing, is like this always refers to an experience and not anything else, because it's like if you would just apply this on a mental plane, it will not do anything. It's like when you start to realize the situation that you're in that is conflicting to you or in contradiction with your happiness, you have an opportunity to sink into that, to come out, say, on the other side of it. And so, like, all these things are lessons that God would have you learn. And in the practicality of it, it is like, wait long enough and have this so much in your awareness that you're willing to give it up. In fact, you're willing to give that away, because you don't want to hold on anything against your creator. Like, you literally put it in between. So whether that's your idea of sickness, whether that's your idea of financial lack, or whether this is your idea about relationships, it really doesn't matter. So the practice is still in the release of your holding on to is where your new experience will come, you know, in the release of your grip, so to speak, your control, is the possibility for a whole new experience of yourself. Like, how well does that feel to let go of this, what was bothering you, what was binding you literally to the situation? And you say, like, yeah, but it's so painful, I cannot just let go of it, it's too painful. Okay, so this is a practice. Like, you have a possibility here. You're not doing this all by yourself. So it's like there's great help available. So invite it in. It's like, I don't know how to do this even. I don't know how to release it. I really I'm asking for help here. You know, it's like, I want it to happen. I'm in the middle of it. I don't know how to get out of it. And I really could use some help here. Well, that's going to be given too. Like, you just have to show your willingness to have this be changed. Like, what rushes in then is all the help in the universe for you to come to your happiness. Because otherwise I would try to figure it out on with my mental capacity and staying in this horizontal plane, and it's not going to help me. You know, so see, the lesson is simple in that sense. It's like, yeah, release it, drop it. Drop it in the sense of, yeah, just lose grip upon the situation. Allow something else. Forgive, and I will see this in a different way. It's like, forgiving is then really coming to a different experience yourself, allowing that to occur. That is not being done in any other way than just to release the tension, that what seems to block you, or what seems to hold you down. That's where the lifting up will automatically happen. You know, that's so great. So practicing that right now, and can you feel that that has to do with you having to sink into what you're actually feeling? So that is the practice that we do. And however that comes out, like, it doesn't even matter how you go through that. It doesn't even matter what you need to do in order to release that. It's like sticking with yourself, staying with it, allowing you, in fact, to feel completely the pain of it, but knowing that that's not the end of it. But it just, say, emphasizes the necessity for help, not from your own doing or anything like that. Like, no, you want to use this key to open up the door to heaven's gate. So in other words, like, we die daily. Well, this is our practice of forgiveness, dying daily into our humanhood, into what we think is so important, and we want to hold on to it. It's like, no, that's not your livelihood. No, that's not keeping you safe, and you know it. But not knowing what then the answer will be. And then in fact we continue with the lesson after this one. It's like, so your hands are empty. You did release everything, and now you don't know what to do. You don't know what the next step would be. So what could that be but this? And then lesson 194 is then, I place the future in the hands of God. Like, that's really how it is. It's like the clarity is in the emptiness. In fact, it's in the release, in the being free of the situation. The next step is then that you have no idea. You place your hands like you place your future in the hands of God. That's what you do. You will have to. You have no other option. You don't know how this is working, but you know that all things are lessons God would have you learn. So this is definitely like a real critical point then in your transformation. So in learning that practice, you can move further in it. So you move further in your journey, but you will have to go through this. So and hey, why not letting that be a happy lesson? It doesn't need to be dramatic. It's in fact an invitation to come to your happiness. So it's not that bad, even though it might sound a bit threatening right now. So it's so great. So it's a bit like this. It's like get on your knees and ask for help. Just do that. This situation that is so hurting you, that is so painful to you, or this circumstances that you find yourself in, this definition that yourself that is really bugging you, but you can't seem to get rid of it. Get on your knees and ask for help. It's like practice that, feeling that to the bottom of it, allowing yourself to die in it. That's where healing can occur. That's where forgiveness is practiced. It's not just getting away, getting rid of ideas or trying to negate it or anything like that. No, this is the depth of which we are speaking. It's like it's transformational. It is not just trying to think positive or something like that. Like, no, this has nothing to do with thinking in that sense. This is you moving through that. So that's a common theme these days. It's really great. So we get this. We're in the middle of it apparently. So it's like we get all this information right now to practice that, to do this literally, to find new ways of releasing that in ourselves, and then rising up, or letting ourselves be lifted by not having any other way to go. So it's like you hit the bottom, and from there on it's up. That's the difference. All right, so this is what I wanted to share with you. So thank you so much for being in this class and listening to this and being a complete and whole part of it. Like, you can't avoid being involved in that sense. It's impossible. So this is doing something with you, as it does with me. It's like, it's beautiful. I love that. So thank you for your presence here today, and I hope to see you soon. Thank you.